Well, we saw chapter 19 of Alchemy of Souls, and it is clear that many things that left us shocked and other things that we had a feeling that could happen were presented. Now we only need chapter 20 to finish this incredible drama. However, we are comforted to know that season 2 is already confirmed. After watching this penultimate chapter, we have doubts about how the series will really end, because there are some things that were presented very clearly, but other things created a little confusion. That's why today I'm going to talk about what we could see in chapter 20 of Alchemy of Souls. But first, remember to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you'll be among the first to see our content. By watching this chapter 19 of Alchemy of Souls, we can confirm some theories. However, there are others that we could discard. We know that there is a strong rumor that Mu-Deok will not be the main character for this second season, and when we see the new cast of the second part of this story, Jung So-min's name does not appear. But whether Mu-Deok will come out or not is something that we will know for sure in the last episode, as we expect that we will be given specific information on how the second season might continue. One of the things that struck us from the beginning of the episode was that we saw Jin-Moo was not alone the day he pushed Buyeon on the boat, but he was accompanied by Jin-Woo-tak. We might also think that this is not such a surprising thing because we already knew that he was allied with Jin-Moo and that Buyeon is not his daughter, at least we thought so. However, we learned that according to the narration that Buyeon comes from the Jin family and the Choi family, and that Jin-Woo-tak apparently was jealous and felt inferior because Jang Gang was the one who helped Ho-young, and maybe he thought that she cheated him, and that's why he said that Buyeon is not his daughter. So we don't expect much talk about that in the next episode because it was clearly presented, although anything can happen clearly, and that's what we believe so far. As we have seen in some previews, it is known that apparently Cho-yeon will marry Dang-gu. But in the middle of the wedding, one of the most beautiful and tender scenes happened, and perhaps one of the most awaited for those who became a fan of Mu-Deok and Jang-uk's love. After so many difficult circumstances, these guys proved that they really love each other, so much so that Buyeon was willing to stay as Mu-Deok and Jang-uk was willing to lose his energy. Jang-uk managed to fulfill the promise of asking her to marry him, and although we didn't see her response, Mu-Deok is expected to say yes to him, but since it's too soon, a wedding of them is not expected in this season. Now then, speaking of love, there was a scene that may be very confusing for those who claim that Naksu will return with her original body in season 2. We could see how Mu-Deok, who is actually Naksu, officially says goodbye to So-yul. Jang-kook told Mu-Deok that So-yul knew that she was really Naksu and that he was taking care of her all this time. It can be seen in this scene that she felt something very nice for him, but of course her feelings changed and now she is in love with Jang-uk. Mu-Deok lets him know that Naksu only exists in his memory and no longer exists in this world. She said, "At first, I thought burning this might be the way to help you erase her from your memory, but you told me that you loved all about Dan Hyang-guk. Take this with you." And she gives him the bird whistle. She also told him, "Let's say goodbye to each other, thank you for everything." Then Mu-Deok mentions to him to take the medicine, and he tells her that he will do it no matter how bitter it is. And that this time, he will heal completely. In this conversation we see a real goodbye from her, but also from him, and you can see that even though it hurts So-yul, he is resigned that it's all over. We know that there are many who think that Naksu will be the next main character for season 2. So it was expected that Naksu would come out of Mu-Deok's body and go back to her original body. Of course, we know that Naksu's body was burned, but there are many theories that the ashes are hidden and with the ice stone they can recover the body. But what brings confusion is that Mu-Deok officially says goodbye to So-yul, so it is not expected that if she decides to return to her body, she will return to him. On the contrary, Jang-uk asked her to marry him. And according to what we could see, Nak-soo gave up her powers to stay with Jang-wook, and he gave up his energy to save her and everyone. So they are expected to stay together, and both of them will not use their powers. But how will Nak-soo be the main character of the next season if she remains in Mu-Deok's body? One would think then that the second season will actually present more information from the beginning of Alchemy of Souls, and maybe this first season is presenting the end of the series. This is what we could think in order to understand why Nak-soo did not return to her body, or maybe why some scene was not presented that we could conclude that. Now, Jin-moo talked to the prince and started bad-mouthing Jang-wook, of course to create controversy. According to the previews, someone is aware that Jin-moo must be killed, and Jin-moo is looking for a sword to kill Jang-wook. In the next episode, Ho-young is expected to officially confirm that Mu-Deok is her daughter. The question is, will she realize that body inhabits Nak-soo, or maybe that's something they will leave for the new season? But I think the question most of us are asking ourselves is, how will the story concerning Nak-soo and Mu-Deok end? There is a possibility, according to the previews they presented, that since Jin-moo wants to destroy Jang-wook, it could happen exactly at the end, that Mu-Deok sees that Jang-wook is about to be killed and decides to use her sword to kill Jin-moo, and that causes her to have to use her ice stone power, and that causes her to have to leave her body and go back to her. Maybe because of that she can't be with Jang-wook, and the ending might not be as happy as it seems. Let's remember that Nak-soo was tricked by Jin-moo, so she has a lot of reasons to kill him. We have to mention that in the latest previews, Jin-moo is seen to be using a kind of sorcery to dominate Mu-Deok. In the narration it said, "Nak-soo, you have given me hope." But of course, we are not sure if that voice is related to Jin-moo, because in any case he suspects that Mu-Deok is Booyeon, not Nak-soo. But it could also happen that he discovers that she is really Nak-soo and deceives her again, as he did when she was in the original body. We could also think that Jin-moo used a kind of sorcery to hypnotize Nak-soo and help her to grow her hatred for her father's supposed killers. This could also give another twist to the happy ending we all hope for. What may happen is that in this last chapter they will finish talking about Booyeon's story so that everything will be clear, and in the end it will not be a very explanatory ending, so that we will be left wanting to know what happens in season 2, something that would be of much pain for the fans. But we hope that this last chapter will clarify things more. But we must be prepared, because the style of this series is a bit confusing, and some details in the narrations can make us believe one thing, and then another chapter is presented and we realize that it is not what we thought. That's why many fans jokingly point out that the script of this series is made to confuse the viewers, and that's why its fans are always overthinking everything. What do you think will happen in this last chapter? Leave your comment here. If you like this video, like and share it with your friends.